Lake Lansing. Good to see you again, sir.
Always good to be here, Michael Patrick.
What is it you put what do we put kids on jet skis for? I don't get it.
Well, I think
they can't drive cars. They can't drive motorcycles.
It is illegal in Michigan. In the state of Michigan, if you want to operate a jet ski, those less than 14 years old are not allowed.
Oh, okay. So the 12-year-old was illegal.
Both were illegal, really. Oh. Those that are 14 to 15 years old can only operate a personal watercraft or a jet ski if they have obtained a boating safety certificate and are either accompanied by an adult on board or they're within 100 feet of an adult, which normally that means is mom's on a jet ski and I'm on a jet ski and I have to be next to that. And then anybody that's at least 16 years of age or born after 1978 must have a safe boating certificate. Old guys like you and I, we can get on without having any kind of training whatsoever.
How do you get the certificate?
You could take a safe boating class through the Coast Guard Auxiliary. We offer them. Also the Sail and Power Squadron. And depending on where you are in the state, sometimes there are other organizations that offer those. And those are safe boating certificates that are basically designed to fit against the Michigan curriculum. So you'll teach basic safe boating as well as safe boating law.
How long is the class? How long does it take?
Depends on who's delivering it. Most of the time, it can be about an 8-hour class, so it's kind of serious.
Take a Saturday and do it.
Take a Saturday and do it. Sometimes it's offered in other parts of the state where they may offer it over a 2 or 3 evening approach. It just depends on who's offering it and how they decide to offer it.
How do you find out where you can register?
You can look for your you can look for your local Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla. And oftentimes they'll have some links to that, and you, of course, look in the news and so forth. So just contact your local Coast Guard Auxiliary Flotilla.
Tony Cuthbert, wasn't Flotilla #1 at the box office this weekend?
That would be Godzilla. Sir.
Godzilla.
Sorry. Yeah,
Godzilla.
What is it about boats that makes people happy? Because they do, don't they?
They do. They do. It's. I think first of all, I think we're all really happy that we can finally get out on a boat because the weather's been so bad. But I know for me, as a sailor, it's a sense of peace and harmony. And being out on the water feels good. It smells good. It's away from everything else. Even if you're on a motorboat or a pontoon boat, there's a sense of freedom I think that people have. But the freedom should also be checked with common sense. And this is National Safe Boating Week. One of the things that we're doing here in the Lansing area, we're doing vessel safety checks at Lake Lansing boat launch. I was out there this past weekend. We'll be out again this weekend on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday doing vessel safety checks. A vessel safety check is a courtesy check of your vehicle to make sure that, or your vessel to make sure that it is compliant with state and federal regulations. The state's done a lot lately on cracking down on vessels that are not properly configured. So you need to make sure you have the right equipment, and it has to be serviceable. And
do people have to volunteer for that, or are you?
We do it. We'll even come to your house. We have in the Lansing area about 8 or 9 vessel inspectors, and we've come to people's houses. We'll come to your boat launch
as a courtesy.
As a courtesy. That's one.
You're not like the police coming and checking.
No. Our goal is to check it before somebody who is law enforcement checks it and says,
I got you.
Oh, by the way, you don't have a fire extinguisher.
Then you're talking money.
Well, you're talking money. And, improper life jackets. Even if the life jacket is on board but it's not available to the user, you can get a ticket for that. So we try to make this an educational experience when we work with the boating public. So Lake Lansing, we're doing them this weekend. Also, for those of your listeners up in Mount Pleasant area, Lake Isabella, Saturday, 9 to 3, and in Howell area, Lake Chemung, 9 to 3 on Sunday.
What's the biggest mistake you see people making these checks? Or most frequent, I guess, would be the one.
Not having the right equipment on board and not knowing it. And so, certain things, it depends on the vessel. Inboard versus outboard, there's some things that are very specific to that, but most of the time it's just not having the functional equipment on board. I've got a fire extinguisher. Is it supposed to do this? Check your fire extinguisher. And so it can be anything. When we do a vessel safety check, we go through multiple points, and some of the things that people are surprised about that they don't know about. For example, having a visual distress signal on board,
like a flare.
Well, a lot of the larger boats will have a flare, but think about it. If you're in the middle of Lake Lansing and you run out of gas and your battery's dead and you start waving, what do you think is going to happen?
People wave back.
There you go.
Hi. How you doing?
So having some kind of way to signal somebody, and you can
A whistle?
Whistle that's an audible
right.
signal. I actually carry that on my life jacket.
Oh, sure.
So that if I fall overboard, I can blow my whistle. But having something visual, that's probably one of the
flag, maybe?
A flag that you can go to West Marine and pick up a what they call international distress flag that's about 3 foot by 3 foot plastic, and you can wave it. Even a signal mirror. One of the best things. You got a nice CD player on your boat. Fine, pull a CD out, aim it to the sun, and flash it. Right.
And anybody in boating that knows anything would know that's a signal of distress.
Well, not necessarily, but
you get someone's attention.
But you're going to get somebody's attention, whereas you're waving, people might just wave back and say, "That's a friendly guy."
And in boating, if you see someone in distress, you're compelled to help them, right?
Absolutely.
You have to go over and help them.
Yes.
Even if you're winning the race and it's a race.
That's right.
Divert and go.
That's absolutely.
We'll talk more with Jonathan Albram when we get back, as it feels like summer, doesn't it?